Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the 6873 show. This time we're gonna go dark. We have two guests today from actually the Feisty Fur Females, but they have a great story to share with you guys, and we're gonna dig a little deeper into that, hence the surroundings we're in. But before we do that, my name is Tuki, and the other co hosts are.
I'm Rossi. Next to me, we also have.
Your favorite Wiccan, Void Anubis.
We're joined here today with Luna and Jade. So, a while back, me, Jade, and Luna had a conversation about this little girl they've been feeling around them basically all the time, but it has intensified. So we talked a little back and forth and we figured out some interesting stuff. But before we go into depth with that, would either Jade or Luna like to explain what you've been going through on a daily basis? If we could possibly get them in the middle, I think that would be better. Otherwise, I'm gonna have a next train.
I'll swap places with Luna.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, wait, I didn't want to accidentally. Sorry. Sorry.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So
There you go. I feel like I'm not
you
like trying to
guys
like
wanna-
look over.
Okay, but if you
Okay.
would like to start telling like how this came about and your daily experience and whatnot, you've been seeing stuff, hearing stuff, feeling touch or whatnot.
I mean, I think Luna should go first since they attached to her first. since you just had to bring her along into my house.
You act like I mean to.
Okay, can we?
Are you saying she's bringing the
Sorry.
strays?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Now come on.
Basically, I met her when I was in my hometown, since I was 4. She just kind of followed me everywhere I go.
Mm. And when you say she follows you everywhere, like, do you see her? Do you feel her? Can you hear her? Or what is it that makes you feel like it's a her and she is attached to you?
When I was younger, I only saw her once. I could tell she was a girl because she wears a lot of dresses.
Okay.
But I can only feel her. I cannot hear or see her anymore.
What you used to when you were younger? Like, what
Yeah.
age were you when you first saw her?
4.
4.
Only that
Okay.
a quinkadink.
So
Cool.
we're gonna turn back to that eventually later on in the conversation, but remember the number 4. The age of 4. Remember that. So what about now? You say it has manifested more throughout the day. Like it's not just you it's attached to, it's starting to affect you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to share like what's happening with you?
Basically, honestly, from what I can tell, she is very playful. So I feel like she likes to scare me when I'm in the shower a lot. So she'll just like randomly like make noises while I'm in the bathroom and basically just make me paranoid because I am also a very paranoid person in general. So hearing random noises
Yeah.
in the bathroom, not necessarily something I want to hear.
Mm. But haven't you also experienced touching or like you feel this like
Yes.
little breeze come? Yeah.
Yeah, I can
So is that
feel her sometimes. For
Mm.
instance, like when we were talking and you guys were talking to her and stuff, she did appear in front of my face and was basically just teasing me and was in my face. It like my whole vision was just black for a split
Blurred.
second and that's all I
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah. So she likes to get up front and personal when it comes to
Yes.
you, where with you, she's more likely to be around you. You were telling me that she was actually laying on top of your stomach once. Like you
Yeah.
could physically feel her laying on top of you. But there was sorry, I was lagging. There was another incident where you also, well, this is more from Jade, I presume, because I got a panic text from Jade saying, Toki, it's 911. And unfortunately, I was very occupied in the bathroom, but I called as soon as I could. Always. Yeah, that bathroom is haunted
Never
for
fails.
sure. But as soon as I got a chance,
Number
I
one or
called
number
them
two?
back. Shut up. I called them back, and I could hear Luna vaguely in the background, sobbing a little bit, like a little bit of panic. And I asked, hey, what's going on? What happened? And if you can let them know what happened then, what you told me, both of you.
Just to kind of, I'm not gonna say everything. I'm just gonna kind of go over it a little bit. Basically, at one point there was an incident. She felt pregnant at one point, and apparently, the spirit had apparently told us that she had miscarried, and she was taking care of the baby.
So in this case,
There you go.
2 now. Keep that in mind, 2. So the number 4 and the number 2. Remember that. But then also, there was a case of a light possession, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Who she possessed you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can kind of imagine how freaked out you were.
I mean, at first, I thought it was one of the other personalities. And then when I realized, I just kind of, I mean, like, I panicked a little bit, but I try to stay calm because I don't know how that would affect it if I were to freak out. So I just stayed
Yeah.
calm, and we talked until she left. So
Yeah. For those who just noticed that Jade was saying the other personalities, both Jade and Luna has, it's called DID, correct?
yes.
Okay, good. And so they have multiple personalities, but this one, they can say for sure it was not a personality. It was definitely a full-on possession by this child. And yes, she is a child. Before we go into the detail with everything that we have talked about and you guys have talked about with Anubis, is there any question any of you guys want to ask them specifically?
So, well, with the possession, what are you able to describe what it felt like at all?
Basically lost, and I feel like I wasn't really there.
Was it like a what do they call an out of body experience? So it's like looking at yourself from the outside.
All I know, like I was seeing what they were seeing, but I just didn't feel it was there.
Ah.
So you weren't in control, kinda.
Mm-hmm.
You were on the side, like watching a movie, kinda.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Anubis, do you have any questions? You're so quiet.
No, not really, because well, beforehand for the audience, I would like to let them know that there are some cases where I deal with stuff like this, not on a regular basis, but from time to time, when usually it happens. So usually when I get a case like this, I would do preliminary investigation first, ask a few questions from both parties or from the main party, which is in this case, the main party was both Jade and Luna. So I had to ask them because they're at the epicenter. And then, as far as I'm aware, 2 more cases got involved as well, which was with Toki, the fellow co-host, and also with another family member of ours who was also
Mm.
involved at the time as well. So I had to ask them 3 in particular, the questions that I need to gather myself on evidence and what I believe to be on the matter. Now, in the case of what Luna said, is that what she explained to me, and even now she's giving a little bit more light of details, which usually can happen. At the minute of time case, I have to rule correct you on this for now, Toki, is that yes, it was possession, and this was a full possession, because usually in light possession, you can
Mm.
feel that there's an entity inside you. You can feel something else inside of you, but you're still conscious, and you're still seeing through your eyes, sometimes looking above from yourself, and you can feel your body moving, and you can feel your mouth moving. You can hear yourself, your mouth talking, but you can't hear your own voice. So, for example, if Jade was possessed in a light manner, she'll be like up here. Her spiritual self will be up here, and she'll be looking down like a third person kind of thing. But she'll still be able to feel her whole body move because she's still connected to her body. She'll still feel her whole body move, still feel her mouth, tongue move, her throat, hair, ears, whenever she can move her ears. But when she'll talk, it won't be her necessarily talking. It'll be whatever is in current control that's talking through her, and she can feel that. I've had that experience myself, and it's not a nice experience. It feels really, really bloody weird. It really, really is. But in the case of
But
where
is
Luna's dead, it's a
yeah.
full possession because she
Mm.
was somewhere else. She was somewhere else. It came on fast and it came on sudden, and it's a full possession.
Mm-hmm. What kind of questions would you ask people in general when you try to like figure out what is it that we're dealing with? Like, is there specific questions or
Usually, the questions that I would ask, I have like what, when, and where. Those are my main 3 I need to go for. So I ask the what questions, like what did it feel like? What can you remember? Or what was you doing? Was there something in particular that it felt like? Where was you at the time? And when did this happen? Stuff like that. It's actually ascertaining small details to actually
Hmm.
build the picture. Because usually, in some cases, they can only tell you to from no details to minimal to a full plethora of a list. Each experience is
Mm.
different for each person who goes through any sort of state of possessions because there's multiple different possessions and multiple different stages and there's multiple different experiences of how it can affect other people. So as a job as yourself or someone who's spiritualistic, and even ghost hunters would tell you who also, and even mediums would say that each possession is unique and
Mm.
it's up to us to paint the picture of what it is and how it came about. Now, that's why we always do a preliminary investigation to get that picture so we can paint the details and build that picture up and finally understand and then finally work out okay, now we can proceed on to phase 2. where we can actually try and do an open communication with the spirit in question. And in most cases, usually that does involve in a controlled possession, which is in a safe environment for either both or one of the subjects, whoever was most affected by it, to be allowed to be repossessed, but in a manner of way that it'll be in a safe environment, that it'll be completely safe for them to be possessed, and that we can handle at that point. Because usually it's just visitations, but
Yeah.
usually in a way that you described, it's been going on for a while, since from a young age. I thought at first maybe this could have been a visitation from the other side, or it could have been like something was still there that they're still attached to, maybe in the ground, in the backyard somewhere, or a location where they had the most attachment to. It could be a number of numerous of things. But you said, like
If
you
I
said, it's been
may,
going on for your whole life.
yeah. If I may just mention this, none of us are professionals when it comes to this. We're not doing this as a living or anything. It sort of just comes to us for some odd reason. And Anubis know a lot more about this than I do. I chime in on the feelings I have. I don't see them. It's like it's getting described to me. Sometimes I can feel like the whole, like with one time with Jade said she felt like this girl came all up in her face. And all I was like saying, I feel like she's pointing at you and doing the and
And I'm just
she's
here for
done
the
that
pretty face.
multiply. but that has kind of been the whole thing. So if it's okay, can I kind of go into this with what you guys have told me and we kind of figured out?
Yeah.
So like I
Uh,
said, we don't do this
yeah,
professionally.
because I managed to gather my preliminary investigation, and I managed to paint a picture. So I know a little bit firsthand what we could be dealing with. I did speak to a family member of ours about it in a private conversation, because
But
usually, and
if I
even
have, can I intervene? The thing is, we kind of need the story beforehand. What they have told me, what we kind of gathered, what kind it was, not specifically like, oh, it's a poltergeist or whatnot, but the
oh
little
no,
information that we gathered. So the girls and I were talking, and what came into my mind, because she said a little girl, but I felt like it was not from this time period. And all I sensed was little girl, dark hair, shoulder length. And you know, one of those really, really old, like very old nightgowns. And her feet was torn up, like she was cold, she was running. And then it built on more. We kind of figured a name, and I googled this. It's not showing up anywhere, so I don't know what it is. It could also be an undocumented case. I'm not sure, so please forgive me. But the age came up as 4.5. That's why we said remember the 4. And also a name, Ophelia. But the thing is, Ophelia was not the only child. Hence the baby that they've been talking about. Because there was a twin, Odelia. And we kind of worked out, because Jade said she had some stuff that she, like, it just came to her. I don't know if it was a dream or a vision or whatever you saw, but they got woken up in the middle of the night. Odelia got taken away by men or someone, and their mother said to Ophelia, "Run, run, 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 run. Get out of here." And as you can imagine, this story has a sad ending for both of them, because Odelia ran into the forest, and the forest is actually somewhere near where Luna lived before. Hence the forests. And unfortunately, she died because of hypothermia. She didn't suffer, but she just laid down and fell asleep. And I think that's also because that's why she has so much trouble falling asleep around you guys. Because she's afraid to fall asleep, I think.
Possibly.
But Odelia, bless her little soul, got taken away and was deemed as a witch and got burned on the stakes. Now,
Now we
whatever
all know
happened
what
to their
happened in
mother,
that time.
whatever that
That
happened
was
to
the
their
witch
mother,
trial.
I don't know exactly. But the age of 4.5, and then again the number 2, 2 spirits. Now, Luna told me, Jade, that you also feel like it has come with you at work. Sometimes.
Sometimes it's more of like because of when we were talking about it when it was just us and Kanali. Basically, can't go down. Basically, um, I get visions, but they happen whenever. So when we were talking about Ophelia, that's when I started seeing Odelia. I don't know, I said it like that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Because basically, from what I can describe from Odelia, is she has a scar on her left cheek. It was roughly about a month old. It was starting to heal, and I unfortunately could feel that.
We're experiencing a little lag.
I could unfortunately
Try
feel
again.
the pain she was going through. I could basically feel the pain she was going through, though. I could feel the heat from the flames. I could feel her struggling, which is why it caused a little bit of pain while I was at work, because I felt it. I could feel her struggling. I could feel her popping her shoulder out of place or it breaking. I felt that. And I think being like a person who does have empathy and then having that, it takes a very huge effect. So it affected me a little bit at work just from experiencing the pain. So it just wore me out.
Now, Rosie, you're just standing here looking pretty. Is there anything you want to ask them? Because I feel like we leave you a little bit out of this conversation.
Well, the thing is, I don't know much about these kind of things, so it is kind of hard for me to think of things to ask. But I mean, you're pretty much explaining your thoughts and feelings of what's going on with it. But it's, in general, do you have any idea why it's happening to you, particularly, Jade? Because it's originating from Luna, so it's how. Yeah, would you understand why it's transferring to you as well? Or?
So basically, from what Ophelia has talked to me about when she did possess Luna, the only other thing I can think of as to why Adelia is more connected to me, maybe, is one, Ophelia feels like I am a parent figure to her. And two, apparently, according to Ophelia, she has confirmed that I am a witch. Ooh.
Fellow
Yeah.
Wiccan into our cauldron.
Um.
Now,
Well,
first
yeah.
off, first hand, when I was talking about painting the picture, already the scene has already been set, which you've already provided. And the massive, big, massive thumb in the nail is the actual setting of the burning at the stake. So already it's a clear-cut memory of the actual spirit saying, "Yeah, this is what happened." So we can already tell that this happened centuries ago, where witch trials were very active, and unfortunately, in some cases, and it's also been documented through witch hunters' journals that random people, even like your neighbor, could just randomly accuse you one day of witchcraft, and you would get pulled off, and you get burned at the stake, and you just get labeled and branded as a witch. Even the investigations from the so-called witch hunters, it wasn't foolproof. It was a very, very rigged system, and especially one of them was about
So
to
basically, if
test if they were
if
a
you were a
witch.
Karen back in the day,
Hold
you'd
on,
thrive.
Yes, exactly.
Lad.
Um.
I was just saying that basically. So if you were a what they call a Karen nowadays, back in that day, you would have been thriving because they'd just be going, "I'm going to have
yeah.
you fired. No, I'm going to have you burned at the stake."
No, all they literally
Basically.
would have to do is go on like this, witch, witch. That's all they had to do. Just say one word
Yeah.
and point.
So,
Pretty
Done.
much.
so instead of shouting manager, manager,
Witch, witch,
Yeah, just be
witch.
witch.
And anyone could have done it. Anyone could brand
Witch.
you and accuse you of being the witch. And the thing is that the tests were very rigged. I mean,
Very
you would
rigged,
not survive
yes.
any of them at all, because one of them
Oh, God,
was
no.
very horrific. It was basically torture, where they would prick you in places where they think it was the devil's mark, of the sign that you've been made a contract with the devil and you now have the witch's mark. Or another one to test if you
wasn't
didn't
there-
have a mark at all, they would tie you to a stone and drop you in the river. And if you float, you was a
See,
witch. And if you drowned, you weren't a
Rosie,
witch. You were
That's
an
it.
innocent.
That's
So
what I was about to
basically
say.
death
Yeah.
either way.
Yeah, pretty much.
Rosie was trying
Yeah.
to chime
No,
in here.
he said what I was going to say. He said what I was going to say because that was the one that I know of is the fact of
The stoning.
tie him down into stone. It's like if you survive, you're a witch, but if you die,
Yeah.
you're not a witch. So
Friends.
in either circumstance, you're gonna die anyway. So
Yeah,
it's irrelevant,
unfortunately,
wasn't
there
it?
is
Exactly.
one that's similar to that. That's even more gruesome.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say it because YouTube. What? Let's
Say
just
it.
say it involves stone soup and taking a swim.
They're all
Yes. Yeah, they make you ingest the stones and drop you in there.
Yeah, they make them. Yeah.
there has
But
been
yeah.
cases also where they are already burned to the stake and a priest or whatnot asking them, are you a
Repent.
witch or are you not? Do you give your faith into
Do you
whatever
confess?
who is
Yeah.
confess?
Yeah, do you
exactly.
confess of being a witch? And
Yeah.
do you accept
And
God?
the more
and
they
all
just
that?
deny it, the worse it gets. And people are like chiming, because this was a big thing. Like, people literally gathered just to see a poor human being being burned. I mean, okay, you didn't have the TV back then, but still. I mean, come on, people. But there has, like, been every kind of
J
torture.
Crash.
Oh. Yeah, she did.
Wah, 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 wah. Oh.
Well, we can hold on a little bit until she comes back. I would like to take this moment to thank our sponsor, LonePawCreations.com. go in and check out all the things that they can actually make in there: 3D printing, carving on wood, and whatnot. You can basically almost order anything you want. So go in and check them out on lonepawcreations.com. Thank you.
Hang on, I've got one.
Oh god.
Ready?
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message. I love you. Now, back to our show.
There was like, I don't know why it was so big of a deal, like to go and watch the witch burn. I mean, it's a human being we're talking about, but then back then people were so, they were so much into their faith, and they believed the church, and
Mm-hmm.
if you went against the church, oh my god, you could be deemed as a witch as well. I mean, so
Mm-hmm.
Or a
I
satanic
think there were like,
person.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Satanist.
So they were driven by fear,
Yeah.
like a lot of fear. Everything was fear about back then. If you went against the church, you were literally, you were doomed.
Pretty much.
You're a heathen.
So exactly, heathen.
Yep,
I'm a
and the church
heathen.
would then
I-
come in the middle of the night and fucking burn your house down. Like, that's a legit thing. They would do that.
They're known as heathens. Oh, thank you. That's been bothering me for fucking years. I remember the name.
I'm having trouble heating
Sorry,
my house.
language. Sorry.
I'm a heathen.
Oh.
Okay, but
We all know you guys are
the
heathens.
question, yes, the question I have for you two is that, do you think it's gonna get worse with time? And then a follow-up question: is this something you want to stop, or do you want to dig into it even more and figure out more about the twins, Ophelia and
Find a way to
Cordelia?
help them move on, if it's possible.
I personally feel like it won't get worse. Just because, like, they've not done anything to be harmful. I think in reality they're just very, very lost. And they find comfort, and they found comfort in us, and so it makes them feel reconnected in some sort of way.
I see nodding. They're nodding. I just got that. I just got the sense of someone going like this.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
like
did
right now,
too.
for instance, like during this whole
Yeah.
recording so far, like they have been bugging both of us.
Yeah.
Like they've been messing with
I
us. Like, for instance, like right now I can feel them constantly touching my shoulders and my chest, and it's like, yeah. Like I'm trying to ignore it, but it's like, eh.
Yeah, I'm getting
So
more and more
if you see
colder.
me
But
occasionally just kind of like randomly, weird hand gestures, it's because I'm pushing things away, basically, or pushing them away.
Yeah.
Either that or she's having a problem with the
They're
tracking.
just trying to get your attention. Just
Yeah.
to let you know that
Yeah.
they're around, they're present, they're like, okay, I'm here. Because they can't literally say, oh, I'm here. Sorry, no pun intended. So they have to do other
something,
things
and
like move something,
before
touch
you
you,
answer,
or gust of wind.
yeah. Before you answer the last question I said, where do you want it to stop, or would you like to dig deeper into it? I will say Ophelia is one thing, because she didn't feel the pain when she passed away. On the other hand, Odelia, I can feel a sense of anger, not towards them specifically, but the whole demeanor is different. And it's not necessarily bad.
What?
Just say it feels like she's
Very painful.
she's hiding more. Yeah, and she's in more pain than Ophelia.
Well, to be
Yeah.
fair, being burned at the stake, I'd be pissed. Being burned at the
Exactly.
stake, I'd be
Right.
pissed.
Exactly. But the
I do.
the fact that she was, if I may,
I do.
just a second.
Sorry.
Yeah, but the fact that she was only 4.5.
Yeah.
that rage easily turns into pain and fear at the same time. So there will probably be moments where that can impact you guys, but just remember it's not targeting against you guys. It's the whole sense of the room, the feeling, that dread, sorrow, fear, being scared, basically being a scared little girl. So if that happens, you know, okay, she can be a factor to that. But I so rudely interrupted you, Jade. What did you want to say?
Oh, so I did want to say one thing though, because along with the visions other than Odelia and Ophelia, I did see a glimpse of their parents. Basically, from what I can tell, their father was a very heavy drinker and was the type of person who was very constantly in your face. I don't remember much of him other than smelling alcohol and basically seeing his teeth, and they were very, very messed up. You can tell just like from his like mouth, he was just angry all the time. As to the
Yeah.
mother, she had very long, beautiful black hair. But she was very warm and kind. And she had a very nice, gentle, welcoming smile.
They're basically seeking out what they lost in you two.
What's funny is that we all know what happened to the mother and to the younglings, but what we don't know what happened is to the father. What happened
Yeah.
with him? Could he have been the one that finally, on his drunken,
Snapped.
yeah, basically on his drunken spurs, that he decided to, you know what, I've fucking had enough of this, because he could accuse his wife of being a witch.
Right.
That's also happened as well. There's been there's been a few cases where spousals were accusing of their wives of being a witch.
Yeah.
Oh
Unfortunately,
my
that does
god, what's
happen.
going on?
That's true.
He's possessed.
Witch.
All I saw was him doing this.
Get back in line, you goddamn Wiccan.
Get back in the line, you Wiccan popsicle.
But
I'll make you ride that
again,
fucking tree again.
again, is this something you guys want to make go away, or do you want to dig deeper into this with the girls?
Personally,
Or have you come
I
to
would.
terms with it and
I mean, like
just putting a
I
third option in there?
personally, growing up, I've always seen things, heard things, stuff like that. So it doesn't really necessarily bother me all that much, other than paranoia.
Well, at
But
least you
with
can pee
them,
in the
I
shower on
feel.
command.
Yeah, pretty much. But like, I feel like with them, it's like more of a sense of like trying to get them to move on than anything, like to cross over. Because it, like, when filling them, it and stuff like that, it feels more like they're looking for their mom more specifically.
Yeah.
Because I don't think either one
I
of them
agree
knows
with
about their
that.
mom. And I
I
feel
agree
like
with
they
that.
probably care less about their father, even though it was their father.
Yeah.
I feel like they care less about him. They're more concerned with trying to find their mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the mother is the last they saw before parting. So actually, I have a question to all our potato chips out there. If you want to hear more about this story and how it progresses or whatnot, you can contact us on the show. You can find us in here in VR chat. We also have an email. We have a Discord you can join. We also have the whole VR chat group that you can join into. So if you want to hear anything, an update, just small details, you're more than welcome to just ask us.
Or
But
just for
I
advice.
think exactly. But
Ye-
I think
We don't buy.
with everything,
hard.
I do. But with everything
Will you
now,
spite me?
I think we could.
Someone's. He's possessed. He's possessed. He's possessed.
I'm locked in place, so I can't unfortunately move. Very much.
Will castrate you and put your balls in your eye sockets.
Yes, please.
Will that mean he'd
Can
be
we
able to
try
see
this
better?
again? Can we try this again, please?
Yes, please.
Teapot, calm down.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't start laughing. You'll set me off again. Stop it. Shit.
Are you done?
You can punish me later, yes. Sorry, sis.
Good. Okay. So, I think we have reached the end of this episode. Like we said, do you want to know more? You can always contact us. We are open for conversations, advice, and whatnot. Thank you, Jade and Luna, for joining us on this episode. We really appreciate you guys wanting to chime in and everything. And Jade, if you put that part up anymore, I'm gonna rip it off.
I know.
What do you want to say?
I did. I did want to mention something. Do you want to tell them about the other things we've been seeing as well, or should we wait to see if they want a part 2 for
I
that?
I think we should
do.
go with the part 2. So if you want to
Okay.
hear more,
Yes.
like I said, let us know. And you will hear because there's actually more to the story than you think. So if that's of interest, please let us. It's almost 1 a.m. here. Can we just get this over with?
God damn it, cat. You scared the shit out of me. You jumped on my leg.
I don't care. Can we get on with it? Thank you. So, as you guys knows, well, we know there is a lot more to this story. So, if you want to hear more about this and what they have experienced as well, we will make a part 2. So, please leave a comment down below and let us know what you guys think. So, we're gonna say thank you guys for now. Please go in and join our Discord. We have email. We have a Patreon you can support us on. We also have a couple GoFundMe's. You can see everything in the link in the description below. Also, thank you to our sponsor, Lowpaw Creations. Go in and check out all their stuff in their store. And to all potato chips out there, take care, be safe, spooky, lots of love. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And hands up. Oh, wise Rozzy, what is your words of wisdom?
Wow, today's words of wisdom, today's quote, I should say, is sometimes I pretend to be normal, but it gets boring, so I go back to being me.
I like that one.
That sounds like me every day.
Mhm.
That gets Turkey stamp of approval.
No.
Potatoes.
Remember those summonings. God damn it!
Hello, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please, please hit that like button. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to our Patreon when everything will be down in the description. Thank you. Tatty bye.